ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's career exploration. Today, we're exploring the career of journalism. I have Mike Johnson and Christian Tarbox here to talk about their experience in journalism and what classes they took to help prepare them for the future. Mike, how did government help you?
Well, every day in this job, we are looking at issues that are making their way through City Hall or at the state legislative level or even nationally. And if you don't know how that works, you're lost. You're totally lost. And I think in high school, when I took government classes, which I thoroughly enjoyed, I didn't realize how important that was going to be. And that was just the start. I mean, in this job, you're learning about it every day. You know, how a bill becomes law, or on a more local level, which is what we deal with here, how a proposal becomes a city ordinance and what that means and how you cover it. You can't cover it unless you know how to find it and how it works.
Yeah. Christian, you took a journalism class in high school. Mm-hmm. How did that prepare you for the future?
Well, in high school, journalism classes are usually confined to the world of your high school. I mean, you don't really go out and cover, local government or sports or things like that. You're basically learning the building blocks that are necessary to go forward once you go to college or, attend a career. I'd say in high school, specifically, journalism classes teach you how to talk to people, how to get to know people, how to appropriately write down what they're saying, transcribing what they're saying, just getting a feel for how to communicate with others. And I think that that's probably the best thing that high school journalism can do for you. The more technical stuff, that's meant for college, but the more personal, emotional aspects of journalism and reporting, high school covers pretty well.
Here's a question for both of you. Coming out of high school, did you think you were going to go into the field of journalism, or did you have another career that you were thinking about?
I had no idea. I got lucky. I went to a college that had a good journalism program, and I kind of made my way towards it. But in high school, I was a photographer, so I was interested in that. But when I went to college, I just, they have a TV station, they have an on-campus radio station, and they have a class where it's hands-on, and you get to run the place, and that worked out very well for me.
It actually wasn't even on my radar when I started college. When I started college, I was a filmmaking major at MCTC, and I was one of those people who didn't know what they wanted, so it took me a while to actually get my degree because I started part-time, but I started as a filmmaking major, and then I'm like, you know what, I live in Minnesota, and it's not actually the easiest field to get into, so I switched to graphic design, and then I just got my liberal arts degree where I graduated from MCTC, and then I thought, you know what, I like writing a lot, and I like storytelling, and that's a big part of journalism, is storytelling. I mean, you're telling a story. Even if it is, not fictional, you're still trying to engage people, and that's what really attracted me to journalism. So I went to the U of M, and then I started my journalism degree, and it was like, this is a perfect fit.
For me, it was the technical side that kind of attracted me, being, on air and shooting. In those days, we shot film and editing film and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But then I, kind of learned more about the government aspect, covering government, and how to ask questions, and it worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah. Mike, you went to New Mexico State. What classes did you take there that really prepared you after college?
Well, like I mentioned, there was a Journalism 267 is what it was called. It mm-hmm. puts you right on the radio. I think there was maybe 2 months of rehearsal and learning, and it was all about writing and for radio scripts, writing very concisely, and learning how to put an actuality or a soundbite on tape and how that fit into the thing, and getting that hands-on experience was very important. And then went further down the road and did the same thing for television. It was all student run. There were faculty members that oversaw us, of course, but it was student run, and it was all hands-on. If you screwed it up, it looked bad on the air.
Yeah. Christian, you went to the University of Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the recommended college classes I have here are the hands-on classes and various journalism disciplines and law classes. Did you take those to prepare yourself after?
I did. At the U of M, they have a very broad and very interconnecting system there where you can learn about different disciplines of journalism. Print journalism, newspaper, investigative reporting, magazine writing, broadcast journalism, electronic news writing. It's great because even under the umbrella of professional journalism, majors, you can learn so much and have so many broad applications to a future career, which is great because even if you're having trouble finding a job in like newspaper reporting, example, once you're out of college, you still have so many skills and trades that you've learned. You can become, a TV news reporter. You can become a TV production person. You can become a communication specialist. You become a public relations person. And government classes are very, very, very important and like super integral to know because the word allegedly is all that stands between you, a journalist, and a libel lawsuit. And so taking constitutional law classes and First Amendment classes, I would highly recommend. It was mandatory for me at my school because it's so brutally important.
We didn't take law classes, but every day there's something that comes up where I wish I knew more about law.
Because if you're writing a crime story, obviously the people in the story are innocent until proven guilty, and so you got to reflect that rather than just saying this person stole this car. No, this person allegedly stole this car, and so it's very rudimentary, but it's so important, and I would recommend law classes absolutely in college.
All right. Did you have any internships coming out of college? I know we talked before, you got to know people, so did getting into these internships get you to know people?
Well, I didn't have any official internships per se, but in my last 2 years of college, I was a founding columnist for a Minneapolis-based webzine called MPLS Zine, and it covered cultural, musical, and artistic people and events all around the city. And it was extremely, extremely relevant to what I wanted to do because it taught me how to tell a story, it taught me how to gather information, it taught me how to interview people, and it was very crucial in building my resume and getting me where I am right now.
I also didn't have any internships, but while I was in college, I was working at a local commercial radio station as well as the campus TV station, and being a kind of a freelancer for a local commercial television station, and being a part-timer at all those things kind of gave me the same experience. It was my foot in the door to paid journalism job. Before that, it was just college, which didn't, of course, pay in anything other than experience.
It's all who you know. It's all about who you know. Like networking sometimes is more important than an actual resume, especially in journalism or any aspect of the media field. I got a freelance job as a cameraman for the Minneapolis television network in Minneapolis for a few months. Just even things that don't really reflect what you want to do, as long as it's like tangentially connected to your field, then it makes all the difference. And the more context you make and the more people you know, the better chance you have of getting what you want in your field.
And as you do that, the more experience that you get pushes you forward as well. I would shoot a story with a campus camera, put that camera down, pick up the NBC camera and shoot the same story and ship it off to those guys and actually get paid for it. And they had different requirements for each thing. You write it one way for this station, you write it that one way for that station. But having that experience and getting your foot in the door and knowing those people at even at the very you're the lowest guy in the totem pole, but knowing who to talk to when you need that full-time job, that's important.
All right, that is all we have for right now. Part 1 is now finished. Please look for the link for Part 2, which is coming up. Thank you, Mike Johnson and Christian Tarbox, for coming in. And thank you to the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce for giving us this time. And we'll see you.